How's it going, folks? Max here, and welcome back to Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, The Online Warrior, Episode 29, and we're still in Season 2. Today I wanted to cover some of the recent ongoings with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Not much has happened in the competitive regard for the game, but something that definitely could affect the competitive regard as much as the game itself in the long run. So for you guys that might not have been aware, in the past week there was a huge glitch discovered in Ultimate Marvel 3, which is kind of crazy because with games like this, there's just so much stuff to them, and so much unique timing and practice that it's like whoever discovered this stuff must have just come across it on total accident, and then you essentially try to reproduce it, which is usually what happens a lot with games like this, but nonetheless. This is a pretty crazy glitch that's being known as, or called right now as the cross-assault glitch, the dead man body glitch, and stuff like that. If you guys want to actually check it out, I made a quick video describing how you get to it, how you do it, and essentially what it does for the game, but I wanted to go into a little bit more detail about how it might affect the game competitively, and if you really should be worried. For the most part, I made a conclusion in that video, which you can check at the top right annotation, that you probably shouldn't be too worried about this. The timing is pretty sensitive. Although some stuff has already come up with other characters like Super Scroll that makes it fairly easy. The hardest part about this crazy glitch is the fact that you have to time a very, very specific snapback after a very specific moment where the animation of the character is still getting hit even though they're dead. It's a weird thing, it's an odd glitch, and it's definitely something that, you know, we have not really seen much of in this game, but it causes something that's just absolutely ballistic crazy, which is allowing the other character to be snapped in. Now, what's really bad about this is the fact that it forces the other player to almost lose a character completely, which is where I wanted to talk about the competitive side of things. Now, I wouldn't worry too much about the bigger competitions, because even the guys at EVO had kind of like talked about this and discussed it, and pretty much came to the conclusion that, well, it kind of prevents you from using a character completely, so we're going to take it out. Even though, like, legally in the game with characters like Zero and stuff like that, and like Firebrand and Amy, they kind of like don't let you play the game period as well, and see Viper with unblockables, so, you know, it's just kind of the way the game works, with this one being a bug is something of special consideration. What it does do is makes for some really freaking pretty combos. Some of the stuff that I really like to watch back in the day in Marvel vs. Capcom 1 is the fact that you had this like crossover combination attack where both characters, I think it was called Duo Team Attack, where you control both characters at the same time, and your one control, like, you know, input would control both characters depending on where they were on the screen. It's really fun to watch, and like, you know, it's that quote-unquote wombo combo stuff where the character's just bouncing left and right into the next, you know, attack of another character, back and forth until they're just totally freaking dead. And in the previous game for Marvel vs. Capcom 1, I'm fairly sure it was done via a glitch as well to permanently keep the characters in the game. And now with this glitch, it allows for some pretty crazy combo spectacles. I've seen some other players do some amazing stuff with this, and it's just one of those things like, wow, this is completely awesome. It actually kind of breathes new life into the game, but at the same time, it's completely freaking busted. And that's what I wanted to also talk about, was the nature of glitches in a game like Ultimate Marvel 3. I think about a year ago now, might have even been a little bit shorter than that, I made a video talking about Marvel vs. Capcom 3 when another glitch was discovered. The title of the video was The Online Warrior Glitches Make the Game. And it was discussing some things in regards to, I think the big glitch at the time was discovered was the TAC glitch. And for you guys that don't know, the TAC glitch is something that happens after you TAC a character in the air, whatever direction. Hit stud scaling eventually like returns to freaking normal, and as long as you can continue to juggle your opponent while you're in the air, you essentially get that ability, which normally doesn't happen on air combos. And I was discussing that tactic there, and how powerful it's probably going to be in the long run, how difficult it seems to be at the moment in order to like guarantee things like infinite combos and the timing for that stuff. Because at the time, I think there was only like a few characters that had the infinite actually discovered, and it was like Dante and Magneto, and some other characters that seemed really impractical, but later on, Doom ended up being a character that was just huge with TAC infinites, and Sentinel was pretty big as well, so you started seeing it more and more and more, and right now, the most prominent use of the TAC glitch is the Dr. Doom infinite that essentially takes place in the left or right side of the screen. And it's not that difficult to do. I actually made a video about this of me practicing the infinite, and I got it after about like an hour, like maybe an hour and a half, and then 2 hours. I was able to get it like fairly consistently, like 50% of the time. Still really hard to do. It's very difficult. It's pretty hard to do online. Some guys are able to do it online, and I've watched some videos, but it is something that takes a lot of timing, and no casual person is going to run into this glitch, unlike, you know, Gambit's Infinite in Marvel vs. Capcom 1. The reason why I wanted to bring it up again was the fact that these things do really make the game, and I kind of want to reiterate what I was talking about. Marvel, the Versus series has always been a game about, like, horrendous bugs and glitches that don't really get patched. The DHC glitch was a huge thing in the original game, and it never got patched, but the first game didn't really have much time to evolve. Because of the DHC glitch, it actually made some characters extremely powerful, and a certain select part of the cast worked so well together that it kind of negated a huge other part of the cast that couldn't do that, you know what I mean? So it really depends on the way things evolve, but it already seems like tournaments have to kind of set a standard. The competitive rule set of how these games are played need to set a standard as far as how things are going to evolve. This is something that kind of disappointed me with older Capcom vs. games, like Marvel vs. Capcom 1, which is still my favorite versus game of them all, but the competitive standard of the game was, for the most part, I think, allowed the secret characters to actually be usable in tournament. These are characters like Red Venom and Gold War Machine and Shadow Lady and etc, etc, but the two that were really good were Red Venom and Gold War Machine. These characters had unique powers and traits that were different than the rest of the cast that made them very effective and very hard to deal with, and a lot of them led to, like, one-touch deaths. Now, there's some crazy broken stuff in Marvel vs. Capcom 1, just like all the other games, but at least in Marvel 1, you kind of have to eat a mix-up or two. You kind of have to get hit a couple of times, regardless, depending on the character you're fighting against. There's infinites, there's all this stuff, but unless you have something running into somebody that's super proficient in doing that all the time, it's kind of like a 2 to 3 mix-up game, which I really enjoy. It's very high damage, though. And now in Ultimate Marvel 3, we have this new competitive standard where the guys that are running EVO and these larger scale competitions are already coming in and dropping the hammer and saying, no, we're not going to allow this stuff. And eventually what this means is that people just aren't going to practice it, and the less it's used, the less we're going to see it. So I think it's going to end up being a very, very nice combo video thing to watch. It's just going to be really cool watching two like characters juggle the crap out of somebody all the way until death, but I wouldn't be worried too much about it being in competition, and especially online. It's a very unique thing to set up, and for you guys that are still trying to sit in and, like, get better at Marvel and pay attention to the scene and pay attention to the competitive environment, this is something that is really dictated by the folks that run the events, and as long as they say no, we're pretty much not going to see it, and these guys aren't going to practice it as much until there's events and tournaments that allow it, and if it's really exciting and really hype, then people are probably going to want to see it and do it. So nonetheless, I wouldn't be too worried about it right now. It does cause some pretty game-breaking stuff that doesn't allow you to use another character practically, and forces you into situations that the game normally wouldn't allow. So hopefully you guys understand a little bit where I'm coming from as far as the competitive rule set, as far as, like, that dictating how things work out in the long run. And I wish things worked out differently in the past, but I think the future of stuff is in the right hands right now as far as how we're going to see the competitive life of Marvel continue, which is all about Doom missiles and Soul Fists. That's essentially the way it goes until the person is going to find how to beat it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this entire subject, and if there's something about the competitive scene or the game of Ultimate Marvel 3 that you might be having trouble with or you want elaboration on, I'd appreciate a comment below also, and I'd actually tackle it later in an episode of The Online Warrior. But for now, let's take a look back at some online ranked games, and I'm going to decipher a little bit about the moments that I think were very important in winning some of these matches. This game going up against another Nova player using Frank West Shopping Cart and Captain America on the end. I think I might have gone against this guy in one other match before. That Frank West Shopping Cart's actually one of the better freaking assists that you can use for this character. It gives Nova a very good opportunity to dash in, get one of those like high-low toe-tap mix-ups and stuff like that, but I get the first hit of the match. I'm gonna do my best not to drop this freaking TAC combo. Got the second hit, and Doom's gonna go in for medium plasma beam, and if a couple more mediums land, that should absolutely do it. So now I got another mix-up opportunity. Gotta bring Nova back in because you get this. If your opponent push blocks you, you have this really unique opportunity to dash in as quickly as possible because they're still stuck in the air from the push block, and you can get in. I try to go for an extended Strider combo there, but I'm not quite as good at them as I need to be. And Strider almost gets completely blown up as a result. Captain America comes dashing through, and wow, that hard tag with Frank was really fast. I'm surprised I blocked that. And at this point, he's got Frank West, and he wants to get into level 4 as soon as possible. I'm going to try to sit back as much as I possibly can and let him kind of like soak away a little bit of the X Factor, but I see that he's approaching me a little bit unsafe, and I go in and make an attack. Probably not the best of ideas in that situation, might just want to go for it, but, you know, it worked. I actually try to keep the combo as low as possible to the ground with Nova, so the DHC with Doom does a little bit more damage, and there we go. That fake cross-up Doom corner thing. I'm telling you guys, that thing is just absolutely destructive. If you want something really good in a match, do that thing where you cross under them really quick and call your Strider assist, and why the hell did he drop out of that combo? Oh my god, video game. And he's actually got a pretty... No, he doesn't have a chance. I was about to say, does he still have X Factor? No, he doesn't, and I can't believe I'm dropping stuff. This is the thing, man. Your chances of winning go down dramatically as much as you drop combos. And looking back on this match, he was actually doing pretty good. He got a huge amount of damage on Strider with a super that landed from an OTG, and then brought in his second character, Captain America, but then immediately X Factors for some reason. I think he was trying to protect Captain America a little too much by throwing out that DHC super, and with that he kind of wasted his X Factor opportunity. You kind of want to use X Factor for like a guard cancel or something like a throw cancel to immediately get damage, but in this situation it just didn't work out for him. Our next match going up against Team Blue Dudes, which is Phoenix Wright, Phoenix Wright, Frank West, and Dante on the back end. Actually fairly similar to Lythero's team, outside of the fact that he's not using Beautiful Joe assist. I'm gonna try to get as much damage on Dante here as I possibly can. DHC into some finger lasers, maybe. Wow, I think finger lasers might have actually killed Dante in that situation. That is a huge bad call on my part. Anyway, OTG Phoenix Wright really quick and he snaps him out. I didn't see if he got enough evidence for the remaining parts of his combo. He might have, but I'm getting pretty good damage on Frank West right now if I land this. Ooh, never mind. Try to go for a little bit of a combo mix-up reset, and I'm going to tag in who? Dante. So that's pretty smart, because Dante had a bunch of red health in the back. This is looking extremely good right now, and Dante just went down pretty hard. So, since he's got Phoenix Wright, he does have fullest evidence. You know what? In this situation, I think I should probably X Factor just to kill and guarantee. But he counters the TAC, lands the objection as a result of Frank's shopping cart, and is getting some fingers up that Nova butt. I did not realize I was going to see a proctologist today. I thought Phoenix Wright was a lawyer. Maya comes out, gets the good damage, and Frank puts a pie in his face, brings the plungers, and the baseball bat will finish things up. This is all of a sudden looking pretty bad because he's got a fairly good assist, although this is going to do a ton of damage. Bring out Doom really quick, and I might X Factor this. Nope. Wow. Bust through all of the cats and stuff. This is getting a little crazy. X Factor cancel right here really quick. He still has his, and he's got Phoenix Wright, and I can't believe I missed that OTG. I can't believe I bet. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So he's got a good chance, but actually that's kind of a good thing that he used it on Frank, so let's see if it works out in the end. My X Factor ends really fast because I didn't have any. I'm still trying to get a little bit of damage on Frank right now because he's actively recovering life. Text the grab, pretty good stuff going on right here. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blocking all this stuff. And X Factor has now run out. Strider dashes in, gets the combo, and with a very simple, oh jeez! Like I said, guys, the more you drop combos, the less of a chance you have to win a game. But we're still doing pretty good. Have all three characters. Frank West is down. Phoenix Wright's the only guy left. Let's see how this goes. But he has all of his evidence still, and freaking Strider just got grabbed hard, and the dog bit him in the ass. Everything's with butts in this game. Oh my god. Phoenix Wright OTG Strider, the ninja's down, and puts out a couple of, oh, you know what? I realized looking at this match what I'm doing wrong is that Phoenix Wright has to jump in with the finger. He has to get that. So let's see if he gets all his evidences. No, he gets one. Oh, Maya protects him, so he gets the third one, but I land the foot dive, and oh my god. This match is hype only around the fact that I'm freaking dropping so much stuff, and Phoenix Wright has a chance. So here we go. Phoenix Wright is looking for that objection, and I see a bunch of paper, but I don't see any speech bubbles. It's got to come pretty soon. Once again, another dropped combo. Maya comes out once again. The objection has been landed. 10 seconds left on the clock. Doom is running for his freaking Latverian life, and Phoenix Wright lands the biggest damn super in the game. And I'm looking at the clock right now, and I don't know if this is going to work out in my favor. Oh my god, such little damage. Courtroom. Oh, okay. I could recognize things. That was mostly my fault, the reason I lost that. But looking back on this match is extremely exciting for the fact that Phoenix Wright came back with no meter, and I lost this one because I was not blocking high. You gotta block high against that finger. That is the biggest lesson from this, and not drop combos. I lost that one, and I'm pretty salty now watching it, and I was extremely salty when it happened. However, I could recognize hype stuff when it happens, and that right there was pretty freaking exciting. My name is Maximilian, and I'll see you guys next week on the Online Warrior.
Player 2 wins! Battle. It's not a question of guilty.